Keeping you up to date on what you need to know, we sat down with Minister Greg Rickford for a conversation. Here's what we talked about. It's James with Net News Ledger. Joining us by phone from his vehicle is Minister of Northern Development and Mines, Minister of Energy, and Minister of Indigenous Services in Ontario, and MPP for Kenora Rainy River riding, Minister Greg Rickford. Greg, welcome back.
Nice to be here, James. Always love chatting to your listeners. And you.
Every now and then, right?
Yeah.
The situation in Ontario opened up a little bit today. We had good news from the Premier. There's going to be a number of openings over the next couple of days for businesses that are ready. What would you like to share with us on that?
Sorry, James. You just cut out there. Can you repeat that? I'm sorry, James. You cut out.
No problem. No problem. Oh, you got me okay?
Start again. Yeah. We had terrible time with the phones today, so all right, start again.
Okay. Minister Rickford, the Premier had good news for Ontario today that we've got some of the economy starting to open up. What would our readers like to hear from you?
Well, I think the good news is that we are embarking on a particularly important phase of this pandemic, and that is the recovery. We've defined it in 3 stages, and I think what you heard the Premier say today is that it's still fluid. We are onboarding, if you will, to stage 1. We'll continue to be very, very cautious. I think as a province, we've done a great job overall of containing the spread of this virus, flattening the curve. We've obviously, like other jurisdictions, had challenges in high-risk congregates like long-term care centers, but I think his announcement today is welcomed by people across the province. I know in Northern Ontario we've heard a certain readiness for businesses to start opening and different activities being available to folks. That said, we still consult and engage thoroughly with our Indigenous communities, and they have to feel comfortable, safe with that. And the Premier and myself have been extensively engaged, and it feels like the right time overall. So some businesses and activities begin almost immediately, and others on board in the coming days and weeks, James. But I feel a little sense of relief, that there's a light at the end of the tunnel kind of thing.
Also, a great announcement today from ONTC. They're moving right through from not only to Thunder Bay, but all the way to Winnipeg.
Just about for tears on this. I've been working on this for a long time, James, and I'm pleased to announce that Ontario Northland bus will be able to take you from Thunder Bay, or from Toronto basically, to Winnipeg, but through obviously across northeastern Ontario, importantly Thunder Bay, Ignace, Dryden, Vermilion Bay, Kenora, and then on to Winnipeg. We're still going to look at options for our Sioux Lookout, Red Lake, and Sioux Narrows, and of course the Fort Frances Rainy River District. But this was all intended to onboard, and it was consistent with our announcement earlier in April that a bus service would come at least to Thunder Bay. Given the pandemic pressures, we decided to move the Trans-Canada portion up, maintaining strict social distancing principles and cleanliness and whatnot on these buses, and limited ridership for the foreseeable future is part of the plan. But people still need to get to Thunder Bay or Winnipeg for their essential services and programs. And next fall, we want to have this running real well for students to come and other people to come and visit our region, and that's going to happen today as this announcement. A long time coming. I would have loved some support from the federal government on it. They knew we were trying to do this, but kind of like the twinning of the highway, we've had to go it alone, and hopefully they'll understand the importance of this and want to help support this moving forward. We believe that Ontario Northland can be a profitable entity, especially now that they're in the Ministry of Transportation. They were small under my previous ministry, but with access to Metrolinx technology platforms for scheduling and ticketing, we feel like this has an opportunity to provide the benchmark bus service for people traveling across Northern Ontario. And now it can truly be called Ontario Northland. I had threatened them in years by that it was called Ontario Northeast Land, but now that it serves our entire region, I'll stand down. We're delighted, thrilled.
Is there going to be a place in there for the private companies that are still running buses or trying to?
Well, we hope so. I mean, I know that Casper out of Thunder Bay had done some great work trying to serve smaller communities. There will continue to be options for private service providers to pick up routes and to work collectively with Ontario Northland. But this is a special bus that I'm talking about. It's got all of the amenities that people out in Northwestern Ontario deserve: lightened aisle, an area for handicap accessories to be adjusted to, very clean, proper bathrooms and Wi-Fi service, and just a look that says, "Hey, man, I'm getting on this bus and I'm going to ride," and that's what matters. That's what we did today.
Now, one of the issues that really seems to just get under the gourd of everybody in Northwestern Ontario, and a couple of days ago I talked to Premier Ford about this, the price of gasoline in Northern Ontario. It just seems to be 20 to 30 cents on times above the rest of the province.
Yeah, it's completely unacceptable. We continue to do a lot of work on this. You know that the story is well documented for my part. We called in the Competition Bureau, the federal agency that's responsible for gas prices. Their threshold for investigation is criminality, so price fixing in a criminal context, and they concluded that there was no criminal activity. I'm disappointed by that. I'm not suggesting for a moment that people engaged in criminal activity. What I'm disappointed by is that high threshold has made it very difficult for us to attack what we all know is going on here, and that is that the retail margin in Northern Ontario, Northwestern Ontario in particular, is much higher than it is in other parts of the province and in fact across the country. The argument that taxation is a big part of it. Look, I know that gas pumps love to show those little pie charts about how much money it costs gas. The facts don't lie. And in Toronto, when the gas is $79.9 and they have 10 cents of retail margin on that, and in Northwestern Ontario, the price of gas is right today. It was $96.9. The margins are anywhere from 15 cents to 25% higher per liter. It's unacceptable. We're watching it closely in the context of COVID, and if these franchises and these companies don't get it right, then we'll use what limited tools we have at our disposal, but one of them includes an ability to investigate for price fixing. So I don't want to push that much farther, James. You can tell I'm as upset about it as anybody else is, but we have a right to reasonable prices of gasoline, and I'm going to continue to work on it for Northwestern Ontario.
Now, shifting gears a little bit, we're headed into a long weekend. The weather is going to climb up. We've got people in Winnipeg who are probably going to be wanting to come to their cottages. What message would you like us to share with them?
Stay home, as best you can. We got to still adhere to these principles. We have, still have an existing congregate limit of 5 people. I know it's irresistible. Lake of the Woods is a premier world-class destination, but right now, we shouldn't be traveling across provincial borders. We don't have the resources to support a COVID flare-up in our region. We've done a really good job. There are no known COVIDs in Kenora, Rainy River right now, and we'd like to keep it that way. And so for those reasons, we'll continue to ask Tobins to stay home. We love them. They're our friends and our family, but now's not the time.
It's interesting, isn't it? You've got no cases in the Kenora district. We've got 4 in Thunder Bay. We seem to be doing the right things here in the north. What lessons can the rest of the province gain from us?
Well, I think we're blessed with distance between people, and and communities. We've got a very high ratio to per person to square kilometer in the land that we share out here, but we've played by the rules, and we've done it because we understand that Indigenous communities and our communities for capacity would be seriously and severely compromised if an outbreak of COVID or a flare-up were to occur. So it's for good reason that we've had the discipline and had those kinds of results, but we'd like to keep it that way.
Now, Minister Rickford, one of the things with COVID is we're not doing the traveling we'd normally like to do. So here in Thunder Bay, what do we need to know about how things are going in Kenora?
Well, we're doing okay, and we think that there's obviously a strong bond with Thunder Bay, and we want to keep it that way. We rely on Thunder Bay to provide essential services and programs, and obviously strong family ties and across Treaty 3. So these are all important factors, James, in terms of our very special relationship with Thunder Bay. And I just feel today, after the bus announcement, that extra special opportunity for us to stay connected as communities.
Well, I have special memories of the bus going between Thunder Bay and Vermilion Bay and Dryden. It was a family thing when I was a teenager, so it'll be nice to be able to do something like that again.
Well, now you got your chance. Twice a week for a fairly low price point, you'll be able to travel across the region in a beautiful bus. Boy, these are real beauties, and we're just law for the people of Northwestern Ontario, something that folks in Northeastern Ontario have had for several decades. With the support of good tax-paying dollars, so we're very, very excited, and it's a great day.
Minister Rickford, thanks for taking the time. For you and your family, have a fantastic but quiet and socially distanced long weekend.
Well, I'm going to get me out to the gun range as part of our announcement today at 12:01 Saturday morning. Gun range is open, and I got me some friends there in Thunder Bay. I'm thinking of Marvin Pelche and his love for pickleball, so he's going to be able to head out to the courts and give a paddling. So we're stretching our legs a little bit more. Some new activities on board with golf and tennis and pickleball and gun ranges. So we're getting there, James, slowly but surely.
You betcha. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
That was Minister Greg Rickford on the phone, and this is James with Net News Ledger. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Bang on that like button. Share this with your friends. Keep everybody in Northwestern Ontario up to date. Stay tuned, stay safe, and stay home. Thanks, Thunder Bay. Thanks, Northwestern Ontario.